What is up, people? This video is going to be my intro to the air raid in Madden 22. It's going to be the first part of a multi-part video series where I cover what the air raid is in Madden, the terminology and philosophy behind it, what formations you use, concepts, reads, tags, and a 3-day practice schedule. This video in particular, I'm going to cover what the air raid is, the formations and terminology you're going to use with it, what the core concepts are, the terminology for those, and what your reads are. After that, I'll go over what my custom playbook is and what my audibles are set up as for that. In the follow-on videos, I'll go over and dive into each concept and go over what tags or hot routes you want to use and what adjustments, a 3-day practice schedule for your offense, and what situational formations and plays you might want to include. So starting out here talking about what the air raid offense actually is. It's not just what plays you use and what plays you call, though that is part of it. It's an overall philosophy of how you go about things, how you attack the defense, how you practice, and what your goals are. So really the first thing you want to do with the air raid offense is you want to maximize space. You want to spread the defense both horizontally and vertically, and you're going to achieve that through both the formations you use and what plays you call. Next idea is that you want to throw the ball short to people who can score as many times as possible. And this is really something you're going to hear both Mike Leach and Hal Mummy say whenever they start talking about the air raid. It's usually one of the first things they're going to bring up. And it's probably the defining principle of what the air raid offense is. You want to get the ball out of your quarterback's hands fast and into your playmakers and let them do damage after the catch. You'll throw the ball deep, of course, if they try and take away the short passing game, but your ultimate goal is to be trying to throw the ball short to people who can score as many times as possible. Next really important idea for what the air raid offense is that balance isn't running the ball 50% of the time and passing 50% of the time. Now, if one player is getting the ball 50% of the time on handoffs, that's not really a balanced offense. The defense can easily key in on that. You've got 5 eligible guys out there every single play. You want to be spreading touches between all 5 eligible guys and make the defense be afraid of every single guy each play. And of course, building off the idea if you want to throw the ball short to people who can score is you want to throw the ball to grass. That's really just you're looking for the guy with the most space around him to do damage after the catch. It's still a progression based read system where you're going to go from one receiver to the next, but you're reading who's got the most grass around them to determine if you're going to throw the ball to them or not. It's not you're trying to key off if this defender drops back and does this or this defender does that, we're going here, otherwise we're going here. Just go through your progressions. If they got space around them, throw it to them. Then of course, the air raid offense is a hurry up, no huddle offense. You want to get to the line of scrimmage fast and get the ball snapped quickly. Don't give the defense time to adjust and change the coverages around. Keep them in their base coverages. Keep it easy to read. The air raid offense is really also what brought the no huddle offense to major college football levels. Originally, it was mostly a 2-minute drill teams would do. The air raid offense decided they were going to make it a full-time thing, and that's what they're going to do to try and gain an advantage over their opponents. And something that's probably just as important as the idea of throwing the ball short to people who can score for the air raid is the quote, "I fear not the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times." That's really what the air raid offense is you've got a few core plays and a few formations that you're going to use, and you're just going to practice those over and over. And it's not you're trying to have a ton of different formations and a ton of different plays. Few formations, few different plays. Just spend a lot of time practicing those and perfect your execution of it. And the air raid offense in real life is taught over a 3-day practice or install schedule. So day 1 they'll have their set concepts that they'll do and drills. Their day 2 set concepts and drills, and day 3 their set concepts and drills, and they're just going to repeat that cycle each week. So that's really what the air raid offense is. It's not a whole lot to it. It's a few core plays. You want to throw the ball short to people who can score. You want to spread the ball between all 5 eligible guys. Get the ball to your playmakers in space. And just practice and reps. So starting out here with our formations we have in the air raid, our 2x2 formations are going to be ace and ace rip. Ace is going to be your base formation. where you have X and Y on the line and H and Z are off. Ace rip is you're pulling Y off the line and moving Z on the line, so it's X and Z on the line, H and Y are off. For our purposes, we aren't going to care about where the halfback's lined up, whether he's on the left side or the right side, or in pistol or offset. We're really going to treat them all the same based off of where the receivers line up. So for our ace formations, we have spread flex weak and spread Y flex. Then for our ace rip formations, we have spread Y slot, spread, and pistol spread. Next, we're going to have our trips right formation, which in Mike Leach's terminology, this is going to be early, where you have X on the line, Y on the line, H off the line, and Z off the line. Again, we don't care about where our halfback's lined up, so we're going to go tray open and tray open offset for these. Next, we're going to have our other part of our trips right formations, which in Mike Leach's terminology is early rip, which again, you're same as previously with the 2x2 spread. You're pulling Y off the line and putting Z on the line. So here we're going to have trips and trips halfback weak. Our final 3x1 formations are going to be our trips to the left, which in Mike Leach's terminology is late. So here you're going to have X on the line, Y on the line, H off the line, and Z off the line. So essentially you're taking spread Y flex and moving Z across the formation. Our other 3x1 trips left formation is trips left open from pistol. After that, we're going to have our empty formations, which in Mike Leach's terminology is referred to as open. So here we're going to have empty base and empty base flex. The only difference between these two is where the halfback lines up, whether he's in the slot or out wide. So our final formation in our offense is going to be our split back set, which in Mike Leach's terminology is blue. So in the air raid, colors used refer to any two back set. So in our case with blue, it's a split back set that doesn't have the tight end on the field. If it did have a tight end, it would be referred to as green. So for what we have in the air raid offense in Madden, you're going to have a dozen core passing concepts. And those can be further divided into your quick game and your drop back game. In real life, what your quick game is, it's a one-step drop from shotgun, and your drop back game is a three-step drop. So in the air raid offense, what we have for a quick game is 6, which is 4 verticals, 8, which is Y corner, 66, which is your outside hitches or hitch seams, 617, which is your fade speed out combo, and 618, which is Y stick. Then in your drop back game, which is your 90 series, you have 91, which is your shallow cross, you have your Y shallow, H shallow, and Z shallow. Then 92, which is mesh. Many people consider mesh the bread and butter play of what the air raid offense is, and the play you're going to see dozens of times a game. Think how Mummy ran like 60 something times in one game out of 80 pass attempts. Then you have 93, which is your post curl wheel combo. 94, which is your Y sail. 95, which is Y cross. 96, your curls combo. And 98, which is smash. That's really it for your main passing concepts. You're going to have some constraint plays and counter plays that come off of that. That's really going to be running these plays, maybe a few variations of them throughout the game. So for your run game and your screen game, it's similar to your passing game, a few simple concepts. You got your inside zones and outside zones, and your draw plays, your counter plays, and your jet sweeps. Jet sweeps are counted as a passing play, but for our purposes, we're going to categorize it as a run play for how you read it and when you're going to call it. And jet sweeps are really only something you're going to see Dana Holgorsen do. You're not going to see Mike Leach out there running jet sweeps. Then our screen game, you're going to have Brandy and Larry, which are your fast screen right and left to your flanker receivers. Rita and Lisa, which are your slow screens right and left to your flanker receivers. Ram and Lion, which is your halfback slip screens, which is right and left to your halfback. And your bubble screens. So showing you how to read these plays now, starting out here with 4 verticals. The first thing you want to do with that is pick which side of the field you're reading. You want to do that based off of which side you see the best leverage at, how much spacing you see and how much grass, and do you see any press matchups. You're really just looking for what gives me the easiest completion. Then you're going to look from outside to inside, starting with that outside fade, and you go to the inside seam, and finally the halfback option for the check down. One important thing to add here is you're not trying to beat the defense 30-40 yards down the field. The sweet spot really of where you're wanting to throw the ball is that 10 to 15 yard range. Of course, if they give you the deep stuff, you're going to take that, and if they're trying to take away the shorter stuff, really that 10 to 15 yard range is the ideal area above the hook defenders and beneath the safeties. So for white corner, the first thing you want to look at is, are there any automatics on the backside? So you want to check there and see if there is any room to fit the ball in without having to make any post-snap reads. You're just looking for grass. Do they have enough defenders over there? Leverage? Are they blitzing? Just any indicators that tell you this is going to be open no matter what. Then if you don't have that, you're just going to read the play normally. So you start out with the corner route, then you go to your halfback swing route, and then the snag route. That's your three main reads on the play. After that, you're just going to read it right to left for your backside slant concepts. Then your hitch seam play. This is going to be similar to 4 verts, where you're going to make that pre-snap read based off of leverage. You're looking at grass, finding which side of the field is easier to read. Just doing a half field read here. But here, the first thing you're going to look at is that seam route. You're looking at any space above the hook defender and beneath the safeties. And if it's single high, you're also looking at, if that outside cornerback sits, can I bend it outside and throw to open grass out there? If not, you're going to go to that hitch route. If that's not open, then you're going to go to your halfback for the check down. (617), this is a simple left to right read progressions. First thing you're going to look at is that fade route. Then you're going to go with the speed out by your slot receiver. Then you're going to read the first in, the second in, and then the swing route to your halfback. Then we have our final quick game passing concept, which is Y stick. You're going to read this similar to Y corner first, where you're looking for that alert, and you're just reading grass. Is there space to fit the ball in here? Are they blitzing? And just seeing if it's an automatic throw you can make without having to make any post-snap reads. Otherwise, you're going to just go through your progressions. So the first thing you're going to want to look at is that fade route. Then your second read is the halfback in the flat. Sometimes it'll be a swing route, sometimes it'll be that shoot route. And you're going to go with the stick route, and you're just going to read right to left on the backside. You're going to look at that slant, then the whip route. So moving on to our dropback series now, which is our 90 series, starting out here with 91 shallow cross. This is one of my favorite plays in the game. It's very easy to read, it gives you easy completions, and has a lot of different ways of attacking multiple coverages down the field. There are going to be several different versions of this. You have your Y shallows, your H shallows, and your Z shallows. But really, you're going to read each one of them the same. So the first thing you want to look at is that fade route on the right side of the screen. If someone's pressing on him, you can try and give him a quick glance and see if you can beat him over the top. The second thing you want to look at pre-snap is the mills concept. So any too high quarters base coverage that gives you a really good chance for a huge play. So what happens there is safety has to take the dig route, leaving the corner one-on-one with the post. The post has inside leverage on the cornerback, so you can try and hit that for a big chunk of yards. Then if you don't see any of that pre-snap, you're just going to follow your normal progressions. So the first thing you want to look at is that shallow cross there. You want to see if there's space kind of right in that elbow of where that dig is, right where he breaks. That's where you want to hit the receiver. You're not trying to wait for him to cross all the way across the field, or you're not trying to throw it early. If you don't have space there to fit the ball in, you're going to go to the dig route. And you'll see on the screen I have that 3 alert. So what you're looking for there is if it's a middle of the field open coverage, is that mid-read defender, say in cover 2, drop down and cover the dig, or is he dropping back to get underneath the post? If he sells out on the dig, you can just go to the post route on your alert. Otherwise, if it's a single high coverage or no one drops down on that dig route and someone drops underneath to get underneath it, then you're just going to go with your halfback as your third read and check it down. So moving on now, we've got mesh. Most people are going to associate this play with the air raid offense. So the first things you want to check are, do you have any automatics with that out route on the left side of the screen? You're looking at, is the cornerback pressed or not, and you have anyone who can jump underneath that. And you're also looking at, is it a better matchup than what I have on the corner route on the opposite side of the screen? So you're also factoring who the cornerback is guarding that side of the field. If you feel like it's a significantly better matchup, then you're just going to go there right away. The drawback of doing this though is you can't really get through the rest of your progressions if you don't have it. So just going through your normal progressions now, the first thing you're going to look at is the corner route. What you're going to be paying attention to there is the cornerback pressed or not? If he's in off coverage, you can probably fit it in there. If he's pressed, you're probably not going to get it. You're also looking at, does anyone jump underneath that corner route who can pick it off? Then after that, you're going to go to your swing route by your halfback, just looking for grass there, and do you have enough room to get up the field after the catch? And you got your mesh receivers after that. Really, the best way to describe reading this as 3A and 3B, because really you're reading it right to left, but you're also reading grass between the two receivers and seeing who's more open of the two. So with your meshing receivers, if you don't know, against zone coverages, they'll settle up in space. And you have to be careful with that because you need to make sure you give them enough time to completely settle. If you throw it too early when they're still moving, the ball is going to be off target and it could be incomplete or worse, intercepted. And of course against man coverage, they're just going to keep running across the field like they're running drags. Now we've got our post curl wheel concept, which is 93. I don't run this play too much just because it's very difficult to get that wheel route open and that curl route doesn't settle up very easily. So it's kind of a difficult read and difficult throw to make. So how you want to read this though is you go from the post route on the right side of the screen, that's your first read. Then you're going all the way across the field to the left side, which is your wheel and curl route. Really I have those as 2A and 2B because you're kind of looking at them at the same time and seeing who has space to fit the ball in. Then you got the snag route over the top of the field run by your tight end. And finally you got your halfback on the swing route as a check down. The main drawback I see with this play is you're having to move your eyes a whole lot. You start out on the right side of the field, then you're going all the way to the left, then you're going back across to the right. And that's a pretty big jump between having to look for at the far right side of the screen, then going to far left side of the screen. That's mainly why I don't like running this play very much. Now with 94, which is Y sail, this play is a strong side 3-level flood concept. What you're trying to do here is space the defense out vertically and create space to throw the ball in on the strong side of the field. When you're reading it, you're going to look at that fade route first. That's not going to be open very much. You're mostly going to be moving on to your next progressions. So after that, you got the out route by your tight end or your Y. Then if that's not open, you're going to go through your flat route. And it's really between that out route and the flat route, that's where the ball's going to be going most of the time, because that's the defender is going to be put into conflict the most between, does he cover the dig route or does he cover the flat. And after that, it's just reading across the field again. You're going to go to the dig route, then you're going to go to whip route in the flat. Just trying to find which one has more space around it. Then we have 95, which is your Y cross concept. This is really kind of a sister concept or a twin mirrored concept of Y sail. So where at the Y sail, it's a strong side 3-level flood concept. Y cross is a weak side 3-level flood concept. Just trying to create a vertical stretch on the weak side of the field there. So first thing you're going to read is that fade route. Then you're going to move to the crossing route. You're really trying to hit them in kind of that middle of the field area to just outside the hash marks where you want to throw it. Then you got your speed out route in the flat. Finally, you're going to move back across the field to that post curl. And you're going to move to your halfback in the flat on the swing route. So for this play here, which is 96 or a curls combo, most of the 2x2 spread sets don't even have this play in it for some reason. A few of them do, but I don't really feel like it's worthwhile adding to my custom playbook just to have that one play in it. So I'm going to include in this diagram it from 3x1, but you're going to read it the exact same way whether it's from 3x1 or from a 2x2 spread. So the first thing you're going to do is you can pick a side of the field you want to read. You can really read it either way, right to left or left to right. You're just trying to figure out which side of the field gives you the best chance of getting the ball out faster. So first thing you want to look at is the curl route. Then you're going to look at the flat. You can go to number 3, which is the snag route over the middle of the field. Then you're going to go back to the other side of the curl, then to the flat on the opposite side of the field. So our final dropback passing concept is going to be 98, which is smash. Here you're just going to pick whichever side of the field you want to read and which side you think gives you the best chance based off of hash marks, leverage, spacing, and all that stuff. That's pretty simple. You're going to read first the corner route, then the hitch route, then your halfback on the check down. The best coverage to run this against, the main coverage I'm going to call this against, is cover 2. Otherwise, I'm not going to call this play a whole lot. Against cover 2, it creates that vertical stretch between the cornerback where he can either choose between covering the hitch or the corner route, but not both. Other coverages it's not as effective against, and I feel like there are just better options to run against them. Now one thing you might have noticed already is that there's some overlap on where you're reading between the plays. So the areas of grass that you're reading on several different concepts is really the exact same for your first 3 progressions. So for example, if we take the play Y corner and we stack it on top of Y stick, and we stack mesh on top of that, and finally we look at the areas of the field we're reading, it's the exact same for each of those. And this kind of brings into our triangle read aspect of the air raid. Most of the concepts, the ball is designed to be out in the first 3 reads, and really your first 3 reads are designed to space out the defense so you have room to fit the ball in. So there's your triangle read. You just go through your progressions, the triangle spaces the defense out and someone should spring open. You can really do that with every single concept. So there's 4 verticals, Y corner, 66, 617, Y stick, shallow cross, mesh, curl wheel, Y sail, Y cross, curls combo, and smash. So now that I covered what the air raid offense is, the formations you're going to use, the plays you're going to use, and how to read them, last thing I really wanted to talk about in this video was my custom playbook and what audibles I use. Here I'm going to be going over my custom playbook and what audibles I have and the formations and plays I have in it. I have the custom audibles up on the side of the screen if you want to look at those. So really you're going to notice that in that second slot it's a lot of RPOs and runs. There's only really a couple that aren't. And I also color coded it, so red are pure runs, blue are your screens, purple are your RPOs, and green are your pure passing plays. Let's scroll through my custom playbook here. You're going to notice a lot of these are just repeating the same concepts over and over across formations. Really going to look like it's a lot of the same stuff where you have variations of shallow, mesh, a Y corner, a stick, 4 verts, Y cross. Here you see some variations of curls. That Salem play I use to create a mesh dagger play out of it. I'll be going over that when I do my concept specific videos. Here you see Y cross, 4 verticals, some screens, inside zone, and read option. The trail shake is really a counterplay to Y stick. It's something Lincoln Riley does. Get teams overcorrecting for Y stick, then you're going to hit them with the routes breaking inside. Same stuff, 4 verticals, Y sail, some screen passes and RPOs. There's smash, verticals, and curls, shallow, slip screens. Scat's kind of a constraint play in the air raid offense. It's really designed to get defenses to bite on the idea of you running double slants or a slant flat combo, and your receiver is supposed to break off the route. In Madden, it doesn't really work like that. The receiver doesn't sell as slant very well, so it's more useful as kind of a variation of Y stick. Here you see across the empty formations just the same concepts. You really notice that the concept side is going to be the same as it is from the trips formations. Here are my 2 back sets. Got some play action in there, some mesh, Y cross, Y sail, curl flats, some slip screens, shallow, Y corner. We got our pistol formations, kind of the same stuff. Y cross, some jet sweeps, screens, 4 verts, shallow, a Y corner, several variations of Y corner and stick. And you got mesh, scat, 4 verts, and slip screens. And that's really it for the air raid offense. This formation you can't clear out because of the custom playbook editor. You want to see it's kind of the same stuff where you have a few base air raid concepts and some run plays in there. One other thing you're going to note with how I organize my formations is that I put them where it's minimal shifts between them. So we're going to start out with our ace formations, just shifting the halfback over, then we'll go to ace rip, no formation shifts there, tray open, Just shifting the back again, shifting the back. In our trips left formation, which is a pretty big shift from any of the others. Then empty base, and empty base flex is just switching where the back lines up again. So that's it for this video. I've gone over what the air raid offense is, how to read the plays, what the formations are, what the plays are, and my custom playbook. I'll be doing some follow-on videos diving deeper into each concept and showing you how to tag them and showing you them from multiple formations and diving deeper into the reads. I'll also be doing a few videos over a 3-day practice schedule and some situational plays and constraint plays. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.